Hi everyone, welcome. Today we are going to learn about Python variables. So let's start with our coding. So I've created a Python script for variables, and so we are going to learn variables today. So as part of variables, first is we have string variables. So string variables will take some sample as, let's say, the first name as John and the last name say as Smith. Okay, so the first name uh, is a string which is John, and the last name as a string as Smith. Now let's say we want to concatenate and then print the full name of the person. So we create another string variable. It's a full name, and we concatenate the name just like this. And we want to print this. Um, so I see here that's the name. So let me clear this one. And then again, okay, so this is my output, which is John Smith. So there is no space between the first name and the last name. So let's put a space between them. And there we go. There we go. That's the name. So this was string variables where we can assign uh, string value to the variable, and then we can manipulate the string variable basically. So next, let come to as a next variable type is the integer variable. So integer variable, let's take an example. Let's say age as 38. So that's an integer variable. And if I want to print it, so I want to print it like this. The age is, say, age. So now let's print it. What do we see? We see John Smith as my previous output, and the age is 38, right? So that's an integer variable, right? And it could be anything. I change it to 20. It could be the age is 20. So after integer variable, let's come to another variable type, and that is float. So take an example of float. Let's say I have the height as 152.8, and I want to print it. So the height is, and that's the intelligence coming up for me. I'll take help from that, and let's print it right here. Yeah, height is 152.8. That's the float. Okay. Now, what do we have next? So the next could be, yep. So the next variable is Boolean variable. And the Boolean variable can be true or false. That's the only Boolean value that we can have. So let's say I put as equal to the Boolean value as true. And then I want to print it in this way is human. Right? And then I want to put it as the Boolean value, I have to put it as human. Now, if you want to print it, that's coming as true, right? So, and again, it could be false, and then it could be false. Okay. So that's so there's a difference. That's the Boolean type of variable and reminded this is not string. If it's going to be string, then it should be within quotes, which it is not. So it could be true or false, and we see that this is highlighted, so it's a Boolean value. So that's the difference. That is not a string, but it's a Boolean. Okay. Now what can we have next is, yeah. So we went through string, the types of variable are string, integer, float, and Boolean. Now, if we want to assign, so the next is if we want to assign values to multiple um, variables. So multiple variables, value assignment uh, at the same time. So when I say but at the same time is, let's say I have three variables, which is, like A, B, and C, and I want to assign them value at the same time. So let's say apple, oops, ball, spell it, C for cat. Now, so the assignment happens at the same time for this, so we don't have to write like separate lines to assign the variables. Now, if I want to print A, I want to print, let's say C, let's see what do I get. Yeah, so it prints A, which is assigned as apple, and C, which is assigned as cat. So that's how we can assign multiple variable values at the same time. Okay. Now let's say we want to assign uh, multiple variables with the same value. So it would be multiple variable value assignment to the same value. So let's say it's how I would do is A equal to B equal to C equal to, let's say, orange. Now I'm to print it to verify. So A is print, C is okay. So yeah, so remember here my assignment value was ABC. It was A was apple, let's C was cat. Now I'm assigning A, B, C as orange, right? And I want to see what will be the value of A and C will be now. So I just printed it in this way so that we can understand the difference. So let's see. Yeah, so if you run it, so let's see the last two. A is orange, C is orange. So these two are assigned the same value. So this line makes sense. Now, the interesting part is C, when we run this, we still have the A as apple and C as cat for the same variable name as A and C. So that means which means we can reassign values to the same variable multiple times in our code. So yeah, so I hope this so far is we are able to understand how can we assign multiple variable values in our code to different values or to the same value. Yeah. Now, so after all of this, another thing that we want to know is, yes, so we want to know about uh, case sensitivity. Yes. So in Python, uh, yeah. So in Yeah, so in Python, the variables are actually case sensitive. So meaning if I put age as 10 with A in capital and I put age like this as 11, where E is capital, and let's say I want to print them. So let's see what should I get, and let's clear here on my terminal. And yeah, so here we can see it is case sensitive. It's not the same. So you can see that it is different. It's not the same. Uh, and since I had age as 20 here, so if I want to print it, I think it should already be here. Yes. So this is still 20. So all of these are case sensitive. So I want to print it again here. All the series at the same time, see 10, 11, and the old one that we have defined in the beginning of the code is still 20. So it is case sensitive. Yeah, so after that, there are some tips how we can give the name for our variables, some standards, and those standards are we cannot have like a blank in the variable name. So let's say if I want to have the first name as like this is the okay. So the wiggles it's showing the wiggles and as the error in the statement must be separated by new lines or semicolon like this. So it's not able to identify that this is I want to give this as a variable name. So what I can do is I can either do this or um, put underscore. That is fine. This will work. So that's one thing to remember. We cannot use a blank. Or another thing that we cannot do is we cannot use like this at the rate 123. So this is also not acceptable. So just to understand. So I hope this is helpful for everyone. So today we learned about variables in Python. So there are string variables, there are integer variables, float type of variable, Boolean, and then how we can assign variable values in one line at the same time, different values, and in one line with the same value, and how the variable is case sensitive in Python, and some tips of how we give the name of the variables. Thank you everyone for joining today. Thank you. Bye.